Ronda Rousey is reportedly set to leave WWE soon, which is why her feud with Shayna Baszler has been sped up, with Baszler turning on Rousey last night at Money in the Bank. Details on when the former WWE Women's Champion could be set to leave the company, possibly for good. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes is reportedly set for WrestleMania 40 next year in Philadelphia. Details on how WWE plans to do that match. Plus, last night at Money in the Bank, WWE teased that WrestleMania could be coming to London in the future, and reportedly there is a reason behind these teases. An update on Drew McIntyre's contract after he returned last night at Money in the Bank. Cody Rhodes has revealed why he doesn't talk about his WrestleMania loss to Roman Reigns on WWE television. An update on John Cena's status with WWE after he made a surprise appearance at Money in the Bank last night. Grayson is reportedly set to be cleared to compete in in-ring competition very soon, and Natalia breaks several world records. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrest News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of World Wrestling Entertainment. Let's start off talking about Ronda Rousey, possibly set to leave WWE, maybe for good, in the pretty near future. Now, the only title change at Money in the Bank last night saw Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez regain the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships from Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, after Baszler attacked Rousey from out of nowhere during the championship match. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio today, Dave Meltzer reported that Rousey has a, quote, hard out in her contract, which means she'll be leaving sometime soon, and she wanted to feud with Baszler before that time comes. That's the reason the term came so out of the blue, is because they simply didn't have the time to do teasers for months or even weeks by the time Rousey and Baszler were able to win the tag titles after Rousey's injury issues delayed that earlier this year. Meltzer explains, quote, "This was always the plan. What screwed it up, and admittedly, and everyone will admit this as far as it was screwed up, when I was telling everyone a long time ago, hey, Ronda and Shayna are going to win the tag team titles, it kept getting delayed, and then Ronda got hurt. The thing was, and I don't know the date, it might be SummerSlam, it might be a little bit after, the deal is that Ronda has a hard out. She gave a date. This is my last date." Because I remember talking to somebody there, and it's like, well, I know they're going to do this, make the big match for WrestleMania, and it's like, no, her hard out is long before WrestleMania. The point is that whatever it is that they're planning to do, they want to do a feud. The whole tag team was set up, Ronda and Shayna doing a feud. Ronda wanted to do this feud with Shayna. She got what she wanted. She's always wanted to do it because Shayna's the one that got her basically into pro wrestling. Shayna developed Ronda's love for professional wrestling, so to her to pay it back, they're going to do a program. I don't know if it's one match, I don't know if it's 2 or 3, but based on whenever that out is, they had to get it done now. This was the latest they could go. They wanted a long title reign to build it up and do the whole thing where you can see the turn coming, the little teasers and everything. They didn't have the time. Now, Baszler and Rousey were initially supposed to win the Women's Tag Team Championships back at WrestleMania, but as Meltzer explained, Ronda Rousey's injury issues put an end to that being a possibility. They ended up winning the titles in a four-way match on May 29 after Morgan and Rodriguez had to vacate due to an injury to Morgan, and then obviously they dropped the titles back to Morgan and Rodriguez at Money in the Bank yesterday on July 2nd. So we don't know when Ronda Rousey is set to exit WWE, but Meltzer is referring to it as a hard out, which does suggest that Rousey could be done soon with WWE for good. What are your thoughts on this story? What are your thoughts on Ronda Rousey having a hard out? And what are your thoughts on the teaser last night, or the turn rather last night with no teasers? And now, does that make a bit more sense given what Dave Meltzer has said? Now let's talk about WrestleMania 40. I know it still feels quite a while away, but a major update has emerged on plans for Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40 in 2024, following his major defeat at Money in the Bank last night. The current WWE Undisputed Universal Champion was notably defeated on the July 1st show, with Jey Uso pinning the Tribal Chief in the Usos vs. Reigns and Solo Sikoa Bloodline Civil War Tag Team match. This marked Reigns' first pinfall loss since Baron Corbin kept his shoulders down for a 3 count at the December 2019 TLC Premium Live event. With Reigns suffering such a high-profile loss, many are wondering what's next for the Tribal Chief and his Universal Championship reign. Some fans have even begun to wonder about how Reigns will be factored into WrestleMania 40, with the Bloodline leader notably walking into the 3 most recent WrestleMania events with the Universal Championship during this one reign. Per Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, the current plan is to have Reigns face off against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. Addressing Cody Rhodes' comments during the post-Money in the Bank press conference that winning the World Heavyweight title wouldn't finish his family story, Meltzer noted, quote, "His storyline is that the bout that his father didn't win, which is apparently Roman's bout, that's the one, that's the story." So basically, he almost said it, next year's WrestleMania, which is the plan right now. Now, it had been previously reported that there had been discussions about having Cody Rhodes versus Gunther be the Raw main event for WrestleMania 40. Reports prior to that indicated that a potential Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns rematch was very much on the table as far as talks went for next year's WrestleMania 40 headliner. Reigns most recently defended his undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 39, with Solo Sikoa interfering to cost Rhodes the match, which did receive heavy criticism from fans due to the finish. So what are your thoughts on possibly getting Reigns versus Rhodes 2 at WrestleMania next year? Now, a lot of talk coming out of Money in the Bank last night was about WrestleMania possibly coming to London in the future. When John Cena made a surprise appearance in the ring at Money in the Bank on Saturday, he got the world buzzing about the possibility of WrestleMania taking place in London for the first time. Dave Meltzer took some time on the latest Wrestling Observer Radio show to address why the tease was made. Quote, "Obviously, they're saying it because of AEW at Wembley, and they want to go in there and they'll do 2 shows at Wembley and they'll sell out both shows for WrestleMania. I'm sure of that, and set all-time gate records for that," Meltzer said. But for WWE, that's not enough because WWE wants the city to spend. Like UFC, the whole gimmick now, it's not about your gate, it's about how much money you can get to be paid to come in. He noted that London is the #1 tourist city in all of Europe, and they wouldn't need to pay WWE to bring in tourists because they have tourists non-stop. So the point is that London doesn't have to pay. They didn't want to pay for the pay-per-view last year, and that's why they went to Cardiff. WWE does want to do WrestleMania there because the audience is great and they can do a great gate, but they want the city to pay to bring them in. So this is a way to use this thing to tell the city, hey, we can do this. It's a really interesting game. So essentially what Meltzer is speculating on here, and it is speculation, is that WWE usually has cities bid on bringing in WrestleMania, whether it is Philadelphia, whether it is New Orleans, whether it is Miami or Orlando. They bid and they pay WWE to host WrestleMania at the show, as well as WWE making money to have the show in terms of the gate receipts, etc., in that city. London, according to Meltzer, wouldn't necessarily have to do that because they get tourists and people there just fine. So in the case of AEW, they rent the arena out, the stadium out, from whoever owns Wembley Stadium. So this might be a negotiation tactic by WWE. WWE WrestleMania 40 is already locked in for Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania next April for another 2-night event. While it's not confirmed, it was previously claimed that WWE has verbally committed to using the Tennessee Titans' new stadium in Nashville for WrestleMania 43 in 2027. So what are your thoughts on WrestleMania coming to London? Is this just a big negotiation tactic by WWE? Do you think the City of London will bid for it when they are discussing WrestleMania 41's destination? Let me know your thoughts about that too. Drew McIntyre, he's back in WWE, and a bit of an update when it comes to his contractual status. After 3 months of being away, the former WWE champion made his return at Money in the Bank, confronting Intercontinental Champion Gunther after the conclusion of his successful Intercontinental title defense against Matt Riddle. While fans were undoubtedly pleased to see the Scottish Warrior back, questions have immediately begun to be raised regarding his contract, one that is reportedly set to expire in early 2024. According to PW Insider Elite, McIntyre's return to television does not also mean he has agreed a new deal with WWE. The two sides are reportedly no closer to agreeing terms, with discussions over a new deal supposedly not even having taken place yet. The reason for this is said to be because there is so much time left on McIntyre's current contract contract, so clearly WWE believes terms will be agreed at some point before the end of the year. Although lingering injury issues have been touted, the primary reason for McIntyre's absence had recently been attributed to creative differences between himself and WWE. This was seemingly confirmed in PW Insider's report, which states that McIntyre wanted a strong storyline for his return, with the 38-year-old now appearing to enter a program with Gunther ahead of SummerSlam. McIntyre will be back on Raw as of this Monday, July 3rd, according to the report, which takes place in Baltimore, Maryland's CFG Bank Arena. While there were doubts whether McIntyre would indeed return at Money in the Bank, it seems he is happy to be back. So, according to reports, he still hasn't signed a contract, but he's happy with the creative to return, as well as recovering from injury issues as well. Now, speaking of Cody Rhodes, we were talking about him just a little bit earlier, weren't we? Cody Rhodes hasn't really spoken that much about his loss to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania on WWE television, and the American Nightmare has revealed why he doesn't like to mention his WrestleMania 39 main event defeat to Roman Reigns on WWE TV. Since his loss at the very end of WrestleMania 39 Sunday and failure to finish the story by capturing the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, Cody has surprisingly barely mentioned this fact, instead moving on to have programs with Brock Lesnar and Dominic Mysterio, respectively. This was to the frustration of many fans who were desperate for Cody to pursue Reigns immediately after Mania. While he has been kept busy in the aforementioned feuds, Cody revealed why exactly he has not mentioned Reigns or has lost much in an interview with BT Sports' Ariel Helwani. Cody said, quote, "One thing I didn't want to do was whine. My buddy, Sean Ross Sapp, half buddy, half not, he was saying, I wish Cody would talk about how he got screwed at WrestleMania. I'm thinking, that's not the way to do it. I'd be kicking my own ass. No, the story is unfinished. It is. I wanted to move and try to get back to finishing it. That's where I was at. I quickly didn't get over it. It's not a pain you get over, but I quickly was able to chin up and move on to the next thing. Coming to Raw was really tough for me from a character standpoint and a human standpoint, very tough. Now, Cody has only suffered defeat once since WrestleMania, when he passed out to Brock Lesnar's Kimura Lock at Night of Champions. But he did open up, actually, that he received some encouragement from Triple H following his WrestleMania main event defeat. Speaking in the same interview with Ariel Helwani, Cody was asked about the shocking defeat and how he felt immediately afterwards, to which he replied, quote, "I had a really good conversation that night with Triple H where he was really just trying to press upon me how important it was that I just main evented WrestleMania. Even when someone who is one of your favorites and someone who I've tried to get their attention and had a unique relationship with, even when you're hearing it from them, even from someone who would know, he would know, I still in my gut had to say, this sucks, this sucks. This walk is going to suck. My mother was waiting in the bus, little Brody is crying, this sucks." Since suffering the disappointment, Cody, as I mentioned, has moved on to programs with Brock Lesnar and Dominic Mysterio. Of course, he defeated Dominic Mysterio at Money in the Bank last night. Now, as far as a SummerSlam schedule update as well, Cody said that he would once again post his dates for Brock Lesnar, so seemingly the challenge is being laid out to the Beast once again. Taking to Twitter, Cody has revealed that he is set for every Raw broadcast up until SummerSlam, so Lesnar has plenty of time to answer his challenge and build to the much-rumoured third gimmick match between the two at Detroit's Ford Field on August 5th. Interestingly, Cody is also set for a lone appearance on SmackDown for the July 14th episode from Raleigh, North Carolina. While this was all likelihood be a dark match, perhaps WWE have different plans at the expense of the notoriously inconsistent Raw and SmackDown brand split. But certainly, Cody has posted his schedule and he's waiting for Brock Lesnar to accept his challenge. Now, last night we saw John Cena make a surprise return to WWE programming, and an update has been put out there regarding his current status with WWE, and it shouldn't come as much of a surprise. Now, the live crowd much appreciated Cena. Fans will no doubt be wondering whether the appearance will lead to something more, with there being some speculation that the 16-time world champion could be returning to set something up for SummerSlam. Well, we now may have the answer to that question. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, Cena's appearance was indeed a, quote, special one-off, seemingly crushing hopes of another run in the immediate future. Cena's mission statement in his promo to the London faithful seemed to be a desire to motivate WWE to host a future WrestleMania event in England's capital, a suggestion which was very well received on the night from the live crowd. Of course, Cena was interrupted by new SmackDown superstar Grayson, who argued with Cena's pitch and countered with his own for WrestleMania to come to his native Australia. After a back and forth, Waller attacked Cena, only to be put down with an attitude adjustment shortly thereafter. Now, speaking of Grayson Waller as well, reportedly he's set to be cleared for action very, very soon. Of course, he took an AA last night, and maybe he's already cleared. We'll have to wait and see. Despite moving to SmackDown in the 2023 WWE Draft in early May, Grayson Waller still hasn't wrestled for the Blue brand. Waller recently revealed he's been out of action since he suffered a broken leg in his final NXT match against Carmelo Hayes on the April 25th Spring Break-In show. Following John Cena's surprise appearance at Money in the Bank, however, Waller attacked the 16-time world champion before he was dropped, as I mentioned, with an AA. With Waller taking bumps, there has been some speculation about his return to the ring. Per Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, Grayson Waller is to be cleared very soon. It doesn't appear that Waller will immediately enter a rivalry with John Cena. As I mentioned, his return was reportedly just a special one-off. So it would appear that, again, it was just a one-off, and Waller is indeed expected to be cleared for action very, very soon. Finally, Natalia has set several Guinness World Records. Yes, this is quite an interesting story, actually. So she's been honoured by the Guinness Book of World Records as the most successful female superstar of all time, receiving 7 separate awards across her 15-year WWE career. Presented the awards while backstage in London for Money in the Bank 2023 event, veteran star Natalia received awards under the categories of Most WWE Matches from a Female, 1,514, Most WWE wins in a career from a female, that being 663, Most WWE Premium Live Event appearances from a female, that being 75, Most WWE WrestleMania appearances from a female, that being 8, Most WWE Raw matches from a female, 174, and Most WWE SmackDown matches from a female, that being 200. These incredible statistics highlight the consistency and longevity of the former 2-time women's champion, who took to Twitter after receiving the awards with a special message. She tweeted, quote, "These kind of stats paint the picture that I want for my legacy, long after I'm done. Each one of these records was attained while trying my hardest to build a division, not a person. That's what my family has taught me. Wrestling is a single sport you can't do on your own." So congratulations, certainly, to Natalia, and she's also set to challenge Rhea Ripley, I believe, for the Women's World Championship on Raw tomorrow night. But there you go, guys. It's the latest WWE news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.